do my duty first to thank the organizers and Vice President who was bent upon being present here. Thank you, sir. And I have my President, Mr. Suresh Chandramohanty, who is sitting there. I worked under him. And the organizers and many of the members who know me personally, because I got elected from the Eastern region first time. From 2011-15, I got a lot of old friends, students, and Mr. Patavi and my all well-known friends. Thank you very much. That's the first one. Now, when all of us are here to listen to Mr. Patavi, I think I should not talk much. So I will do what I am believed to be good on it. Can I ask from the student community, we'll straight away get into it. Can I ask student community, what do you see on the screen?
Excel.
Yes?
Excel
sheet. Excel. Very good. Why this now? Can somebody answer? What I am trying to say? Any answer? Fine, we will find it out. No, after all, I had only put it now. Can you answer? Right. How many students are here more than 25 years of age? Please raise your hand. 25 years in the age. Very nice. How many of you are more than 24 years and above? This exercise, whenever I do, the first people who raise their hands for more than 25, they don't raise. Because they are supposed to be raised also. Now we'll do a small exercise. All of you must be knowing, there are rank holders and people who are finished. They're casting, some of them would have been placed, and then we have got a very good placement starting on top from 28 lakhs and all. So average placement, what we can consider if any one of you pass the exam. Any one figure, ballpark figure? Students? I want to hear you, right? I am on a mic, you are not on a mic. So I need a figure.
7 lakhs.
7 lakhs per month or per annum?
Per annum.
Per annum. Shall we take that figure?
Yes, sir.
Tell me if you are able to see the screen properly. Yes? Yes. Should I make it bigger? I'll make it. At what age in this general group, what should be the average age I should take?
25.
25?
Yeah.
Finishing? Next question. All of you, if you finish in 25, you start earning 7 lakhs on the first year. By chance, God unwilling, by chance, you delayed by 1 year. What is your loss?
7 lakhs.
7 lakhs? Loss is 7 lakhs? 7 lakhs plus interest. Anything else? What will be the monetary value of the experience of 1 year? Okay, then anything else? Pardon me, sir? Okay. You are not getting a job. Fine. Last year's salary. Last year means when, sir? Wow, great, sir. Absolute beauty. Last year's salary. That's a very good answer, sir. That costs for what happened? This is a permanent loss or a temporary loss? Who will answer? Sir, you have got a chocolate, so no more chance. Is it a permanent loss or a temporary loss? 7 lakhs?
Temporary loss.
Students?
Temporary loss.
Because you can earn double, next year. Is it permanent or temporary?
Temporary.
Can we go for voting?
Yes.
I can recruit in future. Suppose you lose 100 rupees today in the bus and you get 200 rupees tomorrow. Still that 100?
Suppose I'm getting another job of 15 lakhs which I would have.
But what happens to this 7 lakhs? Which 1 year later you get 15 lakhs. What happens to this 7 lakhs? This 7 lakhs is a loss. Now the question is,
Loss, right.
what is the value of this permanent loss? As our friend said, last drawn salary. That is what you said, no sir? Let's see what happens. This 7 lakhs. What the interest we can take? 10 you will get. Old man.
Stock market.
What will be the value of this at the age of any guess? 11.27 lakhs will be your permanent loss if you students decide to pass the exam after 1 year at a very conservative starting salary of 7 lakhs. Can anybody tell me what was the highest salary which the final student got this time? Any idea? 28 lakhs. That is the figure. People like you, students, one of the students got 28 lakhs. So I have just taken 1/4 of that figure because that is not the exact figure, you know. So 10 lakhs could be the average. We have taken 7. Now 30 years you could have got, if you have passed the exam in time, you would have got that money which you have lost this. Now shall we go down further, please?
वाह
तो 60 बाद में जाएंगे.
गुड़ा को सब जाना है.
I don't give shockers. One shot shock I don't give.
ये पॉइंट तो पहुंची होनी है मैं कोविड एज.
At the age of 45 it becomes 47.5 lakhs. So you must remember the power of passing an exam or the loss of passing the exam by 1 more year later. We go to what sir has told.
अरे अब जीवन येते. डेढ़ सौ पड़ेगा.
Any guess?
1 lakh 1 crore 50. 1 crore 96. My God.
That's the figure.
Superb.
When you want to
Superb.
postpone your passing the exam, you are at a loss of 2 crores. Now somebody may ask, because no, we have Masuji, we have got taxation, indirect, direct. People say, sir, you are not taking income tax, you are not taking that and all. I have not taken perquisites, I have not taken promotion, I have not taken this, I have not taken increment, nothing I have taken. So, that's what they say. So it's matches. So I'm not, that way 10% is a figure. Now the next very, very important and serious question, if you want to answer, anyone can answer. How many of you feel genuinely that at the age of 60, close of office hours, you will die? Please raise your hand. I can't raise my hand because I'm above 60.
Oh my God.
60. So very less people. So we are going to live and make trouble for others as long as we are going to live. What could be that age? 72. How much? 75 can we take?
अरे
Any guess? Figure? Any guess?
My God. Superb.
Students, if you decide to pass the exam 1 year later, the impact is 8.21 crore. I had a student coming and telling me, sir, we are in the land of, not in Orissa, but they referred, we are in the land of Buddha and other people. So I am really not interested in this kind of money. So he was trying to tell me, why should I pass earlier and all. How many of you hate your mother and father? Please raise your hand. Question is hate. Okay, so you don't want to say the truth. How many of you love your father and mother? Fine. My only request to you is, even if you are a very good boy and girl, don't want so much of money. Around 2 crores you will have at the age of 60. So please start a trust with this money by passing the exam on time. Don't use the first year salary. Make it grow like this up to 2 crores or whatever amount. Make a trust in your mother name first and father name second. Mother, father's name, make a trust and ensure with the 2 crores, even at the same 10% you get whatever money, you can make the whole of Odisha of CMA students. Right? If not for you, form a trust. Earn, keep it, form a trust. Friends, this is very important. Please understand, I was talking to people and he was talking about 2 watches. I really have 2 watches. I have 48 hours. 86,400 is the number you should keep in mind. Do whatever you want. Go to movie, be on the social media. With all that, please also study. Keep a particular time for social media. Remove all your notification. Even now somebody must be talking, on the social media. Somebody must be putting a status, Insta, Reel, Shorts, I don't know what. So do everything. Don't only study, do everything. But remember, 1.96 crores at the age of 60. So I will only tell you, there was a wise man. We have a wise man sitting here in front. So somebody like him was taken to the, let's say, Davligiri Hills or Kandagiri Hills, and 2 boys. They had a small sunbird in their hand, and they wanted to ask this question: wise man, please tell whether the bird is alive or dead. It's a small bird. So their idea was, if the wise man says the bird is dead, they will open the hand, bird will fly, wise man is made of food. If wise man says the bird is alive, they will first open the hand and open, bird will fall dead, so he is again made of food. After all, wise man is a wise man. So what did he answer?
Good.
So his answer was, my dear young boys and girls, whether the bird is alive or dead is all in your hands. So finishing costing in time or not finishing is all in your hands. Jai Hind.
Thank you so much, sir. That's a beautiful picturization of the 8th wonder of the world. That is the power of compounding. And I can know, sir, for the information of Patavi sir, so the strength that we have over here today is entirely because of you. The day you posted that video, we have received around 200 registrations, sir, on that single day. So ladies and gentlemen, without much delay, I would like to invite our chief speaker of today's occasion, CMA Patavi sir. So please, all is yours. And I will request everybody on the stage, sir, if you go to the opposite side, that will be better.
Wow. Super.
Well, good afternoon to all of you. How many of you are hungry? Already hungry? Okay. When would you like to have your lunch? 2:15 you will have. I'm asking them. When do you want to have your lunch? You don't want your lunch? Okay, all right. Don't have me for lunch. First up, let me make a small statement. I did not do my first job at TRL in Belpar. I was born in Jamshedpur. I grew up in Belpar. The first 25 years of my life, including when I did my ICWA. including when I did my CA, although I went to Chennai to do my CA, I lived in Belmar for the first 25 years of my life. So if you want to curse me, you can't curse me in Oriya because I will understand. You can't curse me in Hindi because I'll give you back. Okay? So with that, let's get started with this. When I use the word champion, what comes to your mind? Maybe a few sportsmen. Someone like Sachin Tendulkar. I do not know about your generation, but I think our generation thought about him very, very highly because he was the first Indian who made us all very proud that we were Indians. 100 centuries in a lifetime spread across 25 years of playing is outstanding. Or maybe you might think of someone like Roger Federer, the tennis legend, or our very own Leander Pace, who played Wimbledon, I think, until the age of 48 or so, at a time when people 2/3 his age used to retire. You might possibly, when I use the word champion, you might possibly think about sportsmen, or you might think about businessmen. Who is that guy? What Ambani? Which Ambani? There are two Ambanis now. Mukesh Ambani. If you think of his father, Dhirubhai Ambani, a first generation entrepreneur who again built a world-class multinational corporation during his own lifetime. Or you might think of Mukesh Ambani, who has consolidated on that. Otherwise, you might think about him. Who is he? Steve Jobs, the man who gave us the iPad, the iPod, who told us that Apple is not about Adam and Eve, that Apple is about us all. And it could be Steve Jobs. Or if you want to Indianize it, it could be someone like Narayana Murthy, or it could be someone like Azim Premji. If you say no, okay, if you say it's all fine, I can think of sportsmen, I can think of industrialists, you might also think of people who have done extraordinarily well, who have jumped the odds in order to reach the pillar of success. This man, you know him, President APJ Abdul Kalam. His journey from Rameswaram, where he cycled every morning in order to deliver newspapers at home, to becoming the head of the state, live in Raisina Hills, has been phenomenal. That kind of rags to riches story people hardly hear. Or you might think of this person. Do you recognize her? Harry Potter, wonderful. Or you might think of Harry Potter, a lady who at the age of 42 lived on the UK's pension system, something very similar to our Manrega, and she used to travel in the tube, and at that particular point in time she sat and wrote the Harry Potter series. Reports say that 29 publishers refused her before the 30th one picked it up, and today, like people say, the rest of it is history. So you might talk about sportsmen like Sachin Tendulkar or like Roger Federer. You might think about Mukesh Ambani, or you might think about a businessman like Steve Jobs. You might think of ordinary people like Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, or you might think of someone like Harry Potter when we talk about champions. But what I believe is that these are ideas that might come into your mind. But what's far, far, far more important is that there is a possibility of a champion arising in all of us. I do not exactly know that the phrase, but there is a saying which says there is a hero in each one of us. And there is the distinct possibility that any one of us could emerge as champion. Becoming champion is not about talent. It's not about talent. It's not about hard work, although hard work is very, very important. It's also not about luck. Although many of us say that guy is lucky because he has achieved something which you have not been able to achieve. Talent, hard work and luck are for sure important, but they are not the most important things. And therefore, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we will try to believe that what's most important is the mindset. I think Mr. Prasad gave a lovely demonstration of why it is so very important to pass immediately. I've taught for over 25 plus years. Oftentimes, when I ask a student, how have you done the exam? He says, It's okay, sir, but this is only my first attempt, it is all right. It's never like that. Every exam is important. If you walk into an exam thinking that it is okay to fail, then you will end up failing. That's the power of the mind, and it's very, very important that we develop the right kind of mindset. You too can develop, and what I intend to do now is to talk to you about 7 attributes, 7 key things that lie in the mindset of the champion. Those 7 I will list it straight away. These are the 7. I'm not too sure whether you can read them up from there. I will now run you through each one of them. I will try to tell you a story, or I'll tell you possibly a quote, or I'll possibly do some explanation, or a combination of these three for each one of these 7. Wherever possible, we'll also run a video. I hope the video cord is fixed there. Let me begin with the first one. I'm going to talk to you about this. This is a story that I've told hundreds of times. This is a story that is actually very, very, very old. This story goes back to the year 1963. Do you know anything that happened in 1963 from history? I don't have a chocolate, but I can pick up one and give to anybody who tells me something that is right. Post-India-China war, okay, but I want something in 63. That was possibly 62 or so. Yeah. No, that was in 62. Anyone? Okay, looks like it was too far back for anyone to remember, but that he came closest to that when he said that there was the India-China war in 1962. This story is in 1963, and this is a story about a place called Yale, Y-A-L-E. Yale is one of the world's foremost universities, and one of the world's foremost business schools. It ranks in the league of Harvard, Stanford, etc. Something very similar to our Indian institutes of management, except that I think in terms of people's desire to go, many people prefer Yale. In 1963, there was a young professor, 29-year-old professor, who was teaching a class of 300 people. On the last day of the class, he asked people, and I'm going to ask that question to you, okay? How many of you have written down your goals in life? If you have written down your goals in your life, put up your hand. You can put it up like this. Yeah, keep your hands up. Okay, good. Now you please keep your hands up. How many of you have written it on a piece of paper? Those who had put your hands up. If you have not written on a piece of paper, put it down. You have written on a piece of paper? Good. There are 5 people, 6, 7 maybe. And how many of you have written it in your own handwriting? Not type. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, maybe 10 people. Avinash, how many people are here approximately? 500, 300? Around 500 people he says are here. 10 out of 500 is how much percentage without using a calculator? You can put your hand. 2%. Okay. 0.2%. No, yeah, my math is not bad.
Yes, sir,
2%.
No.
Okay. So 2%. And you will be stunned that in Yale University, where the best and brightest boys of the highest levels of IQ, 140 plus, they also are the guys who go there, and 9 people put up their hands. 3%. 9 out of 300 people had put up their hands, saying that they have written down their goals in life, written it down on a piece of paper, and written it down in their own handwriting. Story stops there. Story moves forward in time. Story now moves to 1993. How old is that young professor now? Sorry? 59. He's 59. He's still teaching accountancy at the Yale. And there's an old boys meet. Old boys meet means an alumni meet. Alumni meet in which all those 300 people have now come, the batch of 63. I think 294 of them attended. 6 of them had not attended. All 294 had done extraordinarily well in life. At the entrance in an auditorium like this, that professor was now 59, did a wealth check. He took a paper and wrote down what is these guys' current wealth. He asked, sorry, He asked them, what is your net wealth approximate amount? Everybody gave their approximate amount. And you will be surprised to know that out of the 294 people who had done so very well in life, there were 9 people, okay, whose individual wealth was more than the combined net wealth of the other 285. Let me repeat, just in case I didn't make it clear. All of them had done very, very well in life. 9 people's individual wealth, that is, each of the 9 people had a wealth that was the total of the 285 others plus. I won't insult your intelligence by asking you who they were, but just in case you want to answer, who were those 9? They were the ones who had written down, who 30 years ago had written down their goals in life, written it down on a piece of paper, written it in their own handwriting. Now, I am not saying that success will ultimately be measured by what amount of money you earn. I am not saying that. But what I am saying is that success often goes to people who lay down goals. The first thing in the mind of a champion is the goal that he lays down. If after today, this evening when you go back home, if you learn nothing across the 6 hours that you have spent here, but if you learn that yes, goals are important, and yes, today I will go and write down my goals in life, write it on a piece of paper, write it in my own handwriting, then I think your time here has been well spent. Goals can change, it's not that goals should remain the same. When I was in class 5, I do not know how many of you know my goal in life was to become a traffic constable. I wanted to become a traffic constable because during the summer holidays I went to Delhi, and there when I was standing on the road, a police guy put up a halt sign and the Prime Minister's convoy stopped. So I told myself, if the constable is so very powerful, I want to become like a constable. Of course, later in life as you mature, and like you will mature as you go on, your life goals will change. The change of goals is not the problem. What is important is that you must lay down your goals. This man, anybody recognizes him? Wonderful. He is Michael Phelps. He used to write down his goals on the roof of his bedroom. Why could he write on the roof of his bedroom? So that when he sleeps, goes to bed, he can see them. When he wakes up, he can see them. Now, tomorrow morning, don't go and tell your parents, I want to write my goal in the roof. And if they ask why do you want to do that, don't tell them that a guy came from Chennai who asked me to write that. All that I'm saying is that that's very, very, very important. Some of the best and most outstanding guys do this. You know, there was a cricket player from Sri Lanka. Whose name does strike you? Sorry? Marwan. Okay, somebody, he was a spin bowler. Mutaya Muralidharan. When a journalist, Ravi Shastri used to say that whenever I met Muralidharan and asked him, what do you want to do? He would say 800. Or sorry, he would say 1000. That means he wanted to take 1000 wickets. So that's how a champion's mindset works. Dr. Kalam said you have to dream before your dreams can come true. I think that was absolutely powerful. But I now move on. So that was point number 1. Out of the 7 attributes, the first attribute is laying down goals. Do you recall this guy's face? Anybody knows? That is the saddest part of our country, that there are several heroes who are actually unsung heroes. This man's name is Karamkir Kang, spelled K-A-N-G. You know 26/11? What happened? Mumbai attack, okay? When the Taj, the Trident, the Oberoi were all taken over by some mad terrorist guys. This man was the general manager of the Taj Hotel. And when this happened in 2008 or 7, when this happened, that means when 26/11 happened, this man was 40 kilometers away from his hotel. And there on television he saw that terrorists had taken over his hotel. You know what he did? He drove down from there. He drove down from there and went straight into the Taj Hotel where the firing was happening. For the next 3 days, he was there 24/7 working, leading his team members from the front giving them the kind of support that they require. And even as he knew, his wife and his children were on the 6th floor. His residence was given there on the 6th floor. His wife and children were on the 6th floor. And the terrorists were on the 6th floor. He knew that. Nevertheless, worked. On the second day, he got news that his wife had been killed. His child had been killed. He spoke to his father, and his father said that a captain never deserts the ship. And despite that catastrophe, he stayed there for 3 days until the last guy was removed from there. And then after everything was over, the Tatas came. They offered him a job in any part of the world. They said, you can go and work in any part of the world. He refused. He continued to work in Taj. 1 year later, he left and went to some other part of the world. He was the one who, according to me, is a champion. He's a champion because he took responsibility. There is another very interesting side story about the Taj. I know that because a friend of mine was there at Taj on 26/11. There were not many people that day who had actually gone out. Gone out means gone out to see Mumbai. Okay? And the telephone, people who operate the telephone, the reception, called up whomsoever they knew was outside, whomsoever's mobile phone number they had, they called them up and said, please don't come back today. Now this is not a training that is given when people are recruited for the hotel management industry. Because nobody ever until that day thought that a hotel could be the subject of a terrorist attack. Notwithstanding the fact that nobody had been taught that way, those young boys and girls did exactly that. If you ask me, they are the real champions because they took up responsibility. Nobody would have blamed them if they had run away. People would have said it is understandable, but that's not what they did. So if the first one was about laying goals, second one is about taking responsibility. Taking responsibility for your own success. Taking responsibility for your own failure. If you don't do well, you don't say, oh look, I am the eldest son of my father, I have lots of, what should I say, other responsibilities in my place. No. All champions take ownership. The third one is about effort. Okay? This man, Malcolm Gladwell, once said that it takes 10,000 hours to master your craft. Okay? His 10,000 hours were worked out like that, 8 hours a day, 5 days a week, 44 weeks a year, for 5.5 years. Okay? So he says that in that way, if you work 10,000 hours, you can become an expert. What I'm now trying to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, is that whenever we see somebody get prizes, whenever we watch the award nights, we say, oh, these guys are extremely lucky. But we do not know how many hours of work has gone behind that. Every time we see an SRK, every time we see a Shah Rukh Khan come up on television, every time we see Virat Kohli receive a prize and huge amounts of money, there's a lot of discussion that takes place. Nobody really realizes that both these guys, like every other champion in every field, be it in sports, be it in business, be it in real life, are all people who have put out great effort. There is a very old saying in English which says, success precedes work in only one place, which is the English dictionary. Other than the English dictionary, nowhere else in life does success precede work. So what I'm trying to say is that it's very, very important to put in the right kind of effort. There is also the story that is told about a musician. I'm not able to, the musician's name has gone out of my head for a moment. I'm not able to name him, but the story is what is far more important. He was practicing on his notes, on the strings he was practicing, and it was not coming good. So the assistant to him said, sir, it is all right, let us go and play this tomorrow. This guy said, no, this is not all right. So the assistant then said, sir, who will know that this is not all right? You're a master. Who will know that this is not all right? And the musician said, I will know it is not all right. So it's very important to put in all the kind of high effort that is required in order to understand. Let us listen to this video. This tells you something about effort.
why I think he's been going to the basket a little bit more. The chains continue to echo through Staples Center as they have through his entire career. Didn't go to practice with it. A basket equals a 50-point day. Kobe underneath. He's got.
So like the previous video showed, the 212-degree video showed, the difference between the champion and the others is not much. The difference between the champion and the other is the fact that the champion puts in that extra effort. Many of us give up, not even halfway. Maybe we give up at 90% way. When we are just 10% to crack the light, we give up, and that is perhaps the reason why we lose out. This man said that genius is 1% inspiration and 99% perspiration. That was Thomas Alva Edison, the scientist. So I'll pause here. 3 of the 7 attributes are now outlined. What was the first? Goal. What was the second? Taking responsibility or taking ownership. And the third is to believe, appreciate, understand, and realize that it takes effort in order to succeed. Champions, all champions are putting up great effort. Let's move on to the next one.
बिल्कुल ठीक कहते हो। 25 बरस हो गए हमें घर काम करते हैं। हमने नहीं देखा कोई पुलिस ने हफ्ता देने से इनकार कर दिया।
रहीम चाचा, जो 25 बरस में नहीं हुआ वो अब होगा। अगले हफ्ते एक और कुलीन मवालियों को पैसा देने से इनकार करने वाला है।
Mrs. Saigal. No. No, Your Honor.
I'm going to stop there. I'm going to ask you 2 questions. Question number 1, the first video was from which movie? Sorry?
Last movie.
Coolie. I think it was Diwar. Okay?
Diwar.
And the second one, Pink. And of course, I don't have to ask you who is the actor, but who is the actor? Amitabh Bachchan. He's been there for 55 years. From I think 1969, and he's still going strong. He's now I think 82 years old. He's been a champion. What is the hallmark of this champion? Voice. Okay, that's one. Okay. Sorry? Acting. Sorry? Adaptability.
Consistency.
Wonderful, yeah. I think I will give you the whole of this. Okay? I'll give you the whole of this. Kumbhanjana, you should forgive me. I'm going to pick this up because mine I've already eaten up wholly. Please take this. I'll give you with my left hand. Don't bother. Okay? Adaptable, you take the whole thing. But you have to give back that, what is that? That cutlery and that spoon. Okay. You can keep it there, I'll place it. Yeah, discipline, actually, I was only talking about, wanted to talk about adaptability. This man has showed that if you want to survive, you have to be adaptable. You will have to change with time. You cannot be like the grand old men of today who say, oh, those were different times. Today's generation is bad. It doesn't work like that. Okay? If something doesn't work, you'll have to find out what works and do that. Every champion is actually a great adapter. Shah Rukh Khan is one of them. This guy is the best example. From being an angry young man once upon a time, today he takes up roles that are character oriented and roles that drive social messages. And you may like him, you may not like him, but the short point is that in an industry where how you look is important, how old you are is important, this man has belied all of that only on account of the fact that he has adapted himself to changing time. So a great one of the attributes of a great champion is adaptability. I'm going to go to the next one. What's happening? This is Warren Buffett who said, the more you learn, the more you earn. That's fine. Just give me a minute. Yeah. I will tell you a story. Okay? I'll tell you a story. In the year 2010, that I know is long back, but doesn't matter. After finishing a workshop, I was driving down and there was a young lady who was by my side. When we crossed a particular place, one car came and hit my car on the left-hand side. And then it stopped. And that guy said, sir, you have to give me money. I said, you came on the wrong side and why do you want money? Whoever asked you to overtake on the left, it is your problem. He was a guy who was then going to the Sabarimala, which is a religious place in the south of India. So then he told me that, no, when I go back today, my boss will take away my earning for the day because the car has had an accident. So you please pay me some money. So after some time I said, all right, let me give him, and I gave him 500 rupees, though it was no fault of mine. Okay. On the second day it was raining. A Maruti car driven by a lady overtook my car, hit my car on the right side and went forward. So I told my friend who was sitting to the left that let us go and find out what happened to her car. In good faith. She told me something else in good faith. She said if we go and stop the car there, and because it is driven by a lady, people will find fault with you. Okay? She was not being any of the other things that might come to your mind. Okay? She said that with genuine thing. Then I said, no, let us still find out. But by then she had gone. So I was the only guy in Chennai who was driving a car whose left side had a big hit, whose right side also had a big hit. I was doing that because that workshop was there. I didn't want to give my car to the repair guy. Third day, end of the workshop, we were driving down. This lady said, sir, yesterday one car hit you on the left. No, day before yesterday, one car hit you on the left. Yesterday, one car hit you on the right. I don't know what will happen today. This idiot had not even closed her mouth that a lorry came from behind and hit. A truck came from behind and hit. The moral of the story is simple. The law of attraction actually works. If you think good things will happen to you, good things will happen. If you think bad things are going to happen to you, bad things are going to happen. If you walk into an examination hall thinking I might fail, you will fail. Okay? I am not saying that therefore if you go to the exam hall saying I will pass, you will definitely pass. I am not saying that. But at least the probability of it will be greater. It is very, very, very important therefore to what I say, think positive. And this man, Zig Ziglar, said this. He said positive thinking will let you do everything better than negative thinking will do. This was what I was trying to highlight. That whether or not negative thinking is bad, positive thinking at least helps. And there is another story that I often tell people. I'll tell you too. I do not know whether that is here. No, that's not here. There's a number called 434. Rings a bell? 434. World of cricket. Anybody? You're very hungry, is it? Don't worry. Another 15 minutes I'll finish. 434? No? Okay. 434 was the score that Australia had scored against South Africa in Johannesburg in the year 2008. It was a 50-over match. At those days, if you scored 300 itself, it was difficult to change. These guys scored 434. A friend, sometime when the score was 385. No, before that I should tell you something else. The captain of the South African team, Graham Smith, at the break, at the crossover time, told people, why are you worried about 434? To win, all that we have to do is to score one boundary goal or 4 more runs. And in the course of that day, with that mindset in their mind, these guys chased it out to prove that if you think positive, you will definitely end up doing well. Okay? I'm now going to go to my sixth one. I've told you 5. Told you about goals, told you about responsibility or ownership, told you about effort, told you about adaptability, told you about think positive. I'm now going to run a video and I want all of you to stand. Okay? If you are, it's impossible to stand, don't stand. But otherwise, I want all of you to stand and watch this. There is no patriotic fervor and all that. If you stand and watch, it is nice. For a certain reason, you will understand soon. Okay? I am going to run a video which I want you people to watch.
The monkey business illusion. Count how many times the players wearing white pass the ball.
Super.
Now, first question. How many of you saw the color of that screen change? You saw that? Yes, sir. Those of you who saw that, please sit down. Those of you who saw that, please sit down. You have sat down? Rest of you did not see the screen change? How many of you saw the gorilla? Please sit. All of you who saw the gorilla, please sit down. You are thinking whether to sit or not, is it? 1, 2, 3, 4. You didn't see the gorilla? You didn't see? Okay. That's all. Then sit down. That's all. 1, 2, 3, some 6, 7 people are there. You are standing as a volunteer or you are standing thinking that you participated? So you have not seen the gorilla. Now, how many times has the ball passed? These people will answer. Only those standing will answer. 1, 5? No. You sit down. 1, 6, you keep standing. 16? Good. How much? Please sit down. No, 16 does not mean you are right. 18 can also sit. How much? 18 can all sit. All 18, 17 can sit. Only those who said 16 keep standing. Now let us give them a round of huge applause.
Oh my God.
Actually, I should give this to you. I give this. Srinivas Prasad, I am taking away yours. Huh? Don't. Come. You are right. You are the winning guys. All 4 of you share this. Give them a big round of applause. Share this. You've done a wonderful job. Share means only what is inside. Cutlery you have to give back. What is the moral of the story? Some of you must have guessed. Yes, sir. Correct. When I told you look at the ball being passed, you were looking at everything else. You were looking at everything else. This is how our television works. In our television, when you watch news channel, you are hearing suddenly, here there is one light, there is one, there is another, and our eyes just go around here and there. Don't leave anything, especially UK. And which means that we do not dash, do not focus. The most important things that champions do is that they focus. Very often Usain Bolt has gone on record to say that when he runs, he cannot hear the sound of the spectators shouting. I don't know how true, but I can understand his point. And now we are going to go to the last one. That is where it changed the screen. We saw the gorilla, and then this is a 16 now. Okay? I'm skipping this as well. I'm skipping this. I don't want to tell that story because I told you I'll finish in 10 minutes time. Okay? Azim Premji said, I do not allow my mind to be occupied by anything that does not contribute to the growth of my company. And to drive all this point, I talked about focus. Maybe if Mr. Premji was sitting here, he would have counted and he would have counted 16 exactly. Okay? I'm now going to do a test. All of you are ready?
Yes, sir.
You can have paper in your hand, pencil in your hand, calculator in your hand. If you want, you can have a computer in your hand. Okay? You can have anything in your hand. But please participate in this. You don't have to stand. You can sit and do. And one more thing. Those of you who know what I am doing, because what I am doing is not my great discovery. Those of you who know what I am doing, please don't give out the answer. Don't at the second grade say, this is it, what is there in it, etc. Okay?